All right, everyone, how we doing? Look, listen, most of the time in the octagon, we settle our beef, right? You go out there against an opponent, even if you don't like them, you talk shit, it's promotion, and you think you hate them. But a lot of the time, when it's said and done, win or lose, it's like, you know what? We've stepped in there, we've stepped in the octagon, the ring, whatever it is. We fought to the best of our ability, and it's done. It's over. And you hug and you embrace. And that's why a lot of people... So I've seen a lot of people get pissed off when two fighters seemingly hate one another going into it, and then when they embrace and they hug and they show respect for one another afterwards. I have seen comments from people online saying, I don't like it when they do that. I like it to remain real because then it feels like it's forced. It feels like it's pantomime. But the thing is, there is a certain... You have shared something. You've been through a unique experience with somebody when you spend 25 minutes in an octagon trying to beat the shit out of one another. You know, it is. There's a bond that will last forever. You will always be tied to one another in that regard. So that is why you do see a lot of fighters say, you know what, come here, you little shit, give me a hug, shake hands, win or lose. You're like, all right, you got me. Fair play, fair play. Now, of course, that's often the case. We've seen it even with maniacs like Mike Tyson. He's not a maniac. Shout out Iron Mike, by the way. I love the guy. But still, he was a maniac back in the day. But that is not the case. No. That is not the case with Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington. As we know, UFC 272, they went toe-to-toe. They had a fight. Covington dominated Masvidal, beat him up for 5 rounds. Got caught near the end of the fight, though. Covington did. That beautiful shot from Masvidal, snapped the neck. Didn't put him down, though. Wasn't enough. And Covington dominated. You know, he was taking him down. He was controlling him, you know. And, yeah, it was a tough night at the office for Masvidal. But there's no shame in that. Covington's a great wrestler. And he came with a better game plan, a better strategy. He's the bigger guy as well. And he beat him. Hey, that's it. That's the game we play. That's what we sign up for. You step in there. You're man enough to step in there, which Masvidal is. He's a true fighter. He'll fight anybody. But you got to be man enough to accept the result as well, you know. And sometimes it's hard, especially when you don't like someone. And to be fair, Covington was talking a lot of shit about his family, about calling him a bad father. So I didn't like that. That is definitely below the belt. But when the fight was over, they did not hug. They did not embrace. And as we saw, the security was in there. They were still talking shit. They were going back and forth. And even though it's been a few weeks now, that has spilled over to Miami. Because last night they were in, what was it called? The Papi Steakhouse. Papi. Hey, Papi, you want to go for a steak? Don't know what that is. But yeah, so they're in Miami. No doubt at a very fancy steakhouse. Never been to Papi Steakhouse. Want to go. It's infamous. Covington's in there with the Nelk boys, right? So he's hanging out with the Nelk boys now because he's a big-time star. And who shows up? Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal crashes the party. I wasn't there, but according to MMA Junkie, what I'm reading here, and I did see a video as well online, Covington outside talking to the police. So police were called to the scene. Apparently punches were thrown. It says the initial reports and tweets from Masvidal and managers and a video obtained by TMZ early Tuesday morning showed Covington surrounded by Miami police officers outside the restaurant at 11:30 p.m. where the alleged physical alteration took place. Covington was heard to be saying on video, he's over here swinging, trying to come at me, and I ran out of the back of the room. He's going to get shit for that one. And I ran out the back of the room. However, being the bigger man, not swinging down in a steakhouse. You know, there's steak knives. You don't want to get in a fight in a steakhouse with the steak knives. And, of course, you're a professional fighter. It's not a good look. All right, real quick, I just want to tell you about I Trust Capital. By now, listen, you've all probably heard of cryptocurrencies. But did you know you can invest in cryptocurrencies through your retirement account? Yes, that is right. I Trust Capital. You can buy and sell cryptocurrencies in a crypto IRA and get all the same tax advantages as a traditional IRA. And there's a special offer to our listeners. I Trust Capital is giving a $100 free funding reward when you sign up at itrust.capital/Bisping. With iTrust Capital, you get tax-free trading, no sign-up fees, no monthly fees, institutional cold storage security. And now, as I said, $100 for free when you sign up and start collecting or saving or investing in cryptocurrencies whilst also investing in your retirement. Start investing with iTrust Capital today at iTrust.capital. capital/Bisping. Or click the link in the episode description down below. So he said, I ran out the back of the room. Moments later, Covington expresses shock to the social media star and podcast host Bob Menery when he asked, how would he even know that I'm here? You know, I mean, contrary to what Colby Covington says, I do believe that Jorge Masvidal is the king of Miami. So there could be a rat in the building at Pappy's Steakhouse. They're calling his peeps. They're like, hey, Gamebred, get over here. Your boy's here. So it all kicked off. It all kicked off outside Pappy's Steakhouse. Never had a problem with Gamebred. This is from Bob Menery. But I'm disappointed, extremely disappointed. He decided to handle his ongoing beef that had already been decided in a regulated platform. Okay, so, you know, it just, I mean, who knows what happens, but I believe, and I don't know anything about it, if I'm getting this wrong, Masvidal, if you see this and you're like, what the fuck, Bisping, you don't know what you're talking about. This is my theory. Obviously, I wasn't there. It was very personal, right? And Covington did say some things that shouldn't be said. And I'm not excusing Masvidal's behaviour here, not for 1 second. But if you talk about a man's ex-wife or wife, and as I said on a YouTube video a while ago, even talking about an ex-wife, that's even more explosive. And then you're talking about his skills as a father. You know, you're talking about him being a bad father. You know, that stings. That hurts. That's sticking in the knife and giving it a good old-fashioned twist. I believe in the fight game, there's certain things you shouldn't talk about, you know, and that should be off the table. You know, children should be off the table. However, Covington talked a lot of shit as well, you know, and I like Covington. I did an interview with him for BT Sport and I saw a totally different side. And he was a nice guy. He was a gentleman. He was. And as I say, I've heard that from a lot of people, but that was my first time experiencing that side of Covington. So I'm not talking shit. And I asked him about it as well in that interview that he did, and he stood by it. You know, he said, hey, it is what it is. I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. So that was his stance. My stance is that you shouldn't say things like that. That should remain off the table. The point that I'm making, though, when I'm saying this, is that I think that's what's fueling Masvidal. As we know, Masvidal's a real one. He ain't talk. It isn't a persona that he puts on. Perhaps it is a persona for Colby Covington that he puts on when he's in the octagon. We know he has a very WWE-esque type of role that he plays, which, you know, he plays well, and it's turned him into a massive star, and he's fought for the belt on 2 occasions. He's probably going to get a third shot at some point because he's second best welterweight on the planet. As I say, that's a persona that he puts on and then takes off. Masvidal is not playing. Masvidal is not putting on a persona. Masvidal is that guy that he portrays himself to be in front of the camera. Masvidal's a real guy. He's a street guy, yeah, and he won't take that shit. And if you say that in the press, okay, you go in there, you fight it on a regulated platform, as Bob Menery says, but Masvidal doesn't give a fuck. He's like, I've got unfinished business. Now, granted, and I get this, and I agree with this. I agree with this. It should be over. It should be. And it would be for me. It would be over. But not everyone's like that. And you talk that kind of shit, Masvidal's going to go out there and continue to come after you until he gets what he wants, until he gets revenge. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not justifying it. I'm just attempting to look into the mindset of Masvidal and try and explain why this happened. Who knows? Maybe I'm way off the mark. Maybe he was just hammered drunk and just thought, fuck this. You know, maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's parts of the story that we're not hearing. I'm assuming there is. You know, we're only getting one side-ish. There's always 2 sides, and normally the truth kind of lies somewhere in the middle. So who knows? But I would assume that Masvidal's still really pissed off at a lot of the comments. And he saw Covington and couldn't control himself. Maybe he heard he was close by. Who fucking knows? The reality is, though, it was 11:30 at night. Typically 11:30 at night. When you're out and about on the streets of Miami, you're a wee little bit intoxicated.
Are you intoxicated?
Yeah. So anyway, let's see. We're going to have more things unfold, no doubt. Very intrigued and curious. Thank you. Still in London. Subscribe. Ring the bell. I appreciate the support for the channel. This time I am going to go, though. Next time you get one of these, I'm going to be in a different room. But until I think of another idea for a video real quick, till then, take care. Bye-bye.